70 degrees, a nice way to start off a Monday after a somewhat chilly half inch of much needed rainfall yesterday. Thank you for being a part of the program as we start off another, all in all, beautiful week in the neighborhood. Temperatures, yes, on the cooler side. It is nearing the end of October, mind you, which means that we are in for some beautiful weather. Sunny skies, low 60s, some mid and upper 60s, and I think the 70s as well. All in your outlook for the week ahead. So, nice place to be weather-wise. With that said, I've got a lot more news to cover this week than perhaps I'll get on. I don't know. Maybe not. A lot to cover. A lot of news that I've been kind of stockpiling for a whole lot of reasons that we'll not rehash again. But we're going to be getting to that tonight. We're going to hit headlines, a new calendar to start off a new work week, and much, much more. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start with a very important topic. As I've been covering here as in depth as possible, speaking with our local judge executive, getting information from others as well, and the ad board about the Meals on Wheels program for our senior citizen centers across the Commonwealth, and how a little bit of a backstory in case you may have missed that or in the paper, how that essentially COVID money, which added to services as it was intended to do for our Meals on Wheels and in-center feeding services, well, that money has expired. It is gone. But the need, which grew, is still there. And that's left a shortfall and left senior citizen centers, local judge executives, ad boards, all scrambling to try to fill the gap. Well, earlier today, Governor Andy Beshear announced that that gap has been filled, at least for now. He says that as a whole, the state of Kentucky is facing a $305 million budget shortfall this current fiscal year. He says due in at least part to negative impacts from President Trump's tariffs. And that as a result, the state must make moderate cuts to balance Kentucky's budget as required by law. He says that combined with the ongoing federal shutdown, which is now 20 days in, is affecting how Kentucky operates and many of its operations and cabinets and the like. And he mentioned some specific areas today in his address, and the one we'll focus on tonight is the Senior Meals Program, where, as I told you, COVID money is now gone, and they have been looking for a stopgap. He says that the governor has found almost $10 million. His administration has found almost $10 million to bridge the gap, at least for now, while still at the same time looking for a permanent solution. So it appears as though funding the Meals on Wheels program, senior citizen center feeding centers, is going to continue.
Before the pandemic, general fund dollars had not been directly allocated to this type of program. During the pandemic, federal dollars were provided to address senior hunger. As COVID funds expired, this administration and the General Assembly made the largest investment yet in general funds for this program, with $10 million appropriated for each of the 2 fiscal years. We've learned that our area development districts, or ADs, have nearly exhausted these funds, with more than half the fiscal year to go. My team has been working hard to find a solution, and it's not a simple budget transfer. Senior Meals needed additional funds last year as well. We were able to fill the gap that year in 2 ways. First, we were able to provide one-time flexible federal ARPA funds. All of those have now been spent. There are no ARPA funds to address the current shortfall. We were also able to use some state funds, including vacancy credits, all of which are necessary to address that $305 million shortfall this year. So none of those funds are available either. So it was a bit more challenging. Thankfully, through the hard work of John Hicks, we were able to find a pot of money in the form of an appropriation to Medicaid for a study by LRC and the General Assembly, and then the implementation of that study within Medicaid. The original study was not done, and so the dollars are sitting there. From this appropriation, we are moving $9.1 million in funding to Senior Meals. My state budget director transferred these funds today after we discussed plans with the General Assembly leadership at the end of last week. I also requested that the General Assembly retroactively approve the movement of these dollars when they come back into session in January, which leadership has agreed to do. So again, this wasn't a routine or regular movement of budgeted dollars, but required we find a usable, specific pot of money. To be clear, such a pot likely won't be available in the future for this or other programs. No Kentuckian should face hunger. And while I'm glad we found a temporary solution, we must ensure that we understand our people's needs, as well as the cost controls and procedures for the senior meal program to appropriately budget and run these programs in the future. Because of that, in addition to the $9.1 million transfer, I'm also asking the Finance Cabinet to review the program with the ads to ensure we provide sufficient future funding and are fiscally responsible at the same time. The Finance Cabinet will look at things like variation in cost per meal, what rules exist inside each program, and why the budgets vary oftentimes in similar populations. Ultimately, we must understand these variables to provide sufficient funding, because the way next year's budget is shaping up, the budgeted amount will likely be all that's available.
In some other money matters, took a look at gas prices today. Have you? Well, they're getting lower everywhere. Some folks are getting more of an advantage than others. I guess you can figure out who that is. I'll be right back. As cold and flu season approaches, there's another respiratory illness you should watch for: pneumonia. Like the flu, pneumonia can cause serious health risks and be life-threatening. If you have any questions about how to keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy, need over-the-counter relief for any symptoms, or want to keep your immune system at its best, stop by Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. Welcome to the best sales, the best service, and the best selection in the viewing area and Eastern Kentucky. It's Conley Tire in Staffordsville, where they have big specials on big name brands every month. And as always, brake jobs, oil changes, computer diagnostics, and 6 months no interest. Conley Tire in Staffordsville and conleytire.net.
I wonder, could this be our last trip together? What if I upset him? He might never call again. But what if I don't say anything?
Hey, Dad. Is something wrong?
Actually, are you okay?
If someone you know or love is struggling, contact Big Sandy Healthcare today.
It's just the perfect spot to grab lunch, a snack, something sweet, pick up your meds, or have them brought to you curbside. It's your hometown Good Neighbor Pharmacy that's been proud to serve you and your families for over 100 years. And now on their already incredible menu, fresh baked goods from the Daily Bread. Frazier's Prater Drugstore, 349-3135.
Johnson Central High School stands alone in providing the most college and career programs of study in one building throughout the entire state of Kentucky. This includes pathways in everything from the medical field to engineering, telemedia, welding, agriculture, and even aviation. And that's just to name a few of the 32 different choices. Work has also been started on a brand new state-of-the-art high school. So now is the time for your child to experience the power of opportunities in Johnson County School.
Atrial fibrillation is one of the more common rhythms we see.
AFib is an arrhythmia of the heart where the top part of the heart is beating erratically and out of sync with the bottom part of the heart.
The electrophysiology service is made up of a team of healthcare providers, and that includes an electrophysiology lab where we're able to do procedures to help repair heart rhythm problems. When a patient becomes heart rhythm free, it can really restore their life.
ARH, more for Appalachia.
Keep in mind, the national average for a gallon of gasoline is just a few pennies over $3. And if it continues in the current decline, as it is believed to, we could see the $3 mark. Some folks are already seeing less for the first time in 4 years. It's been that long since we've had a national average of less than $3 for a gallon of gas. As this past week, gas prices have taken another dip. No complaints there. AAA saying that there are a number of issues and reasons and factors behind this. Demand has fallen off somewhat, and there is a cheaper winter blend that's also available at many of the pumps. And we saw as well, fortunately, a much more quiet than expected and perhaps usual hurricane season. So let's take a look, shall we? Red circle left of your screen shows today's national average, $3.03 for a gallon of gas. You start in the western part of the nation, over $4, over $4.50, $4.60 in California, $3.80, $3.33. By and large, the more you go east, it tends to be on a decline, but not completely. Nebraska, Kansas, $2.73. There you see Missouri, $2.67. Iowa, $2.68. Illinois takes a spike at $3.10 a gallon. And then as we start to work our way, Indiana, $2.83. And then take a look at the good old state of Kentucky, $2.64 is our average. I'll come back to that in a second. West Virginia, $2.97. Ohio, $2.92. Again, Kentucky is showing $2.64, but just exactly how close are we to that in the eastern part of the state? Well, let's take a look. Red means high, blue means low. Western Kentucky, lower than eastern Kentucky, as is always the case. Just take a look at a few of the blues. Graves County, $2.50. Marshall, $2.57. Christian, $2.56. We'll just let the little arrow work its way. You get the idea. We're in the $2.50s, $2.60s, $2.70s. We'll start to get to Mercer and Madison. Estill, $2.83. And now we're in the reds. Lee, $2.97. Wolf, $3 a gallon. Breath at $2.86. Magoffin County, $2.91. It's actually $2.89 down at the Speedway at this hour. I just checked. Morgan County, $2.75. Johnson, $2.74. Floyd, $2.60. It's the same old scenario. Pike, $2.66. Coming back and looking at Floyd, $2.60. And then you take a look at Johnson, $2.74. This is their average. Morgan, $2.75. And Magoffin, $2.91. $2.89. For the benefit of the doubt, but higher than most all of our neighbors. Now, on the note of traveling some roads, I've got a couple of things about the Mountain Parkway expansion project that I want to pass along to you. I'll get to that in a few seconds. Right now, it's at least two birthdays to start off tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau calendar. Here's wishing Kylie Marie a happy 21st birthday. Kylie Marie Arnott, 21st. On Saturday, this past Saturday, so a bit belated. For Mom, Dad, Mamaw, lots of family and friends, the happiest of birthdays to you, Kylie Marie Arnott. And a happy 85 to Paul Bussey over and Down and Around from Sarge and a whole lot of family and friends, and we too, Paul. The happiest of 85th birthdays to you. Happy birthday, sir. Going on to the calendar, Halloween Town is open 7 days a week over at the Gardner Farm on the Ivy Point. You can park there at the old motel now that the cut-through, of course, has gone through. Take a nice little safe stroll over, and then be sure you kind of stay on the beaten path once you get over there. There's a lot of trip hazards and tie-downs and extension cords to make all that happen. But Halloween Town is open 7 days a week, 4 to 10 at the Gardner Farm. They hope to see you there. The Magoffin County Beekeeping Association has a meeting coming up this Monday with special guest speaker Jim Koss. They are asking members to please bring a dessert. Want to be a member? Find out more? Come and spend an evening with them, 6 o'clock at the Extension Service. They hope to see you there and find out more about beekeeping and how it's buzzing. I can't help it. The Magoffin County Health Department Dementia Community Meeting still planned for Tuesday the 28th, 11:30 till 1, hosted at the Magoffin County Health Department. Your hostess will be Kathy Hembry. They would love to see you there to talk about experiences, offer support, and learn from one another in a compassionate and understanding environment about dementia. From there, we'll go on to funeral service announcements, and services were held today here in Magoffin County for 58-year-old Terry Lee Arnott. He passed away Thursday at his home, the son of the late Warren and Della Arnott. He's survived by his 3 sons, Toby and Jason and Josh, his sisters, Jacqueline, Bailey, and Kay Isaac, and 7 grandkids and 2 great-grandchildren. Services again held earlier today in his honor. Services start tomorrow at 1 for 87-year-old Thomas Randall Ratcliffe of Sagersville, who passed away on Thursday. The son of the late Thomas and Roxy Brown Ratcliffe, his sisters Marquita, Marcella, and brother Paul Douglas, and his sister-in-law Jane all preceded him in death. He survived by his wife Shirley, his daughter Tommy, his grandson Nicholas, his sisters Debbie Ratcliffe Sammons, Sheila Williams, and his brothers Raymond and Gary, and his brother-in-law, Paul. Services for Thomas will be held tomorrow at 1 from the Sayersville Funeral Home. Arrangements are incomplete at this hour for 77-year-old Candace Sue Gardner Mullins of Sayersville, who passed away on today's date at Pikeville Medical Center. And lastly, asked to be read in loving memory on her birthday of Ora Collins, a proud mother of 13 children, sadly missed by all. One name, one call, one ultimate solution to your heating and cooling, sales, 24-hour service, and installation for home, commercial, boilers, chillers, and VRF systems. With over 15 years of experience and now based right here in the viewing area, Ultimate Air, 496-6651. Don't let the colors and shades and styles of the season escape. New must-see arrivals are at the Seasonal Shop. Already famous for their most cozy of home decor, and now for ladies' fashions too. Business, casual, a night out, they have you taken care of. And when it comes to a night in, the shop has gone all in on their sleepwear selections that are even more comfortable than they are already classic. And don't forget bridal and baby registry at the shop, the Seasonal Shop in downtown Sayersville. SMB is proud to stand with you with what might be your very first and definitely last checking, savings, retirement, even Christmas Club account, along with consumer, auto, mortgage, business loans that you can easily manage from anywhere in the world with safe, secure mobile and online banking that comes from over 120 years of commitment to your financial life and well-being, today, tomorrow, and forever. Sayersville National.
Youth.
Experience.
Modern solutions to modern problems.
Proven solutions to legal problems.
An emerging face in the courtroom.
A known presence in the courtroom.
Together, we are multifaceted.
Together, we will do right by you.
If you are having any legal issues at all, just relax and call Max.
If a car wreck is causing you pain, just pick up the phone and call Donald Wayne.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars. I believe in always finding a way to do what you love. I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
For whatever reason, if your working days are over, don't do anything before you meet Grover. Social Security, disability, SSI, work injuries, wear and tear, and hearing loss. 888-9-GROVER. Kentucky Power's request for a 15% hike in their rates is still yet to be determined. It's still being under review by the Public Service Commission. It would take an average consumer or residential bill up almost $30 from an average of about $182 to about $210. That is significant. Now, as is a result of this request, and as is dictated by law, the Public Service Commission is making available 3 meetings for public comments if you'd like to voice your concern, interest, frustration, or what have you. Pike County will be the closest one to the viewing area, and it will be actually the first one, which is set for November the 20th. The other hearings will be in Perry and in Ashland, and they all will start at 5 o'clock. The one in Pike County, November the 20th, 5 o'clock. At the Pike County Library, should you like to attend. Let's talk about the Mountain Parkway on a couple of different fronts. First up, a traffic alert. If you travel the Mountain Parkway today, you've already seen it. A new traffic shift is now in effect near exit 46 in Wolfe County. The westbound traffic headed to Lexington has been shifted onto the new westbound lanes so crews can start to work in the median where the new section of the parkway ties into the existing roadway. Starts just west of exit 46 and goes for about a half mile toward Campton. So keep that in mind. If you're traveling, certainly westbound, you will stay on the new alignment through the next several months while progress continues. They say that the eastbound traffic will just continue as is. So keep that in mind and just look for any traffic changes or shifts or patterns or just ongoing construction anytime you're on the parkway is a good rule of thumb. Now, I expect this to be met with some mixed opinions, to say the least, but they say that this is going to be the new design to make it much more efficient. This new roundabout, this is going to be part of the Magoffin and Floyd County segment. The cross-country segment, which is just under construction, of course, is going to be a while. Here you can see Prestonsburg Elementary School there to the bottom part of your screen. That gives you an idea. So the left is coming from Sayersville, going towards Prestonsburg, and you'll see how it works. You'll be coming in on the new road. If you want to get off and go to Prestonsburg Elementary, for example, you'll just get off on the roundabout there and come over and get onto the connector. And if not, you'll just continue right on the new constructed path to Prestonsburg. It's going to be a different travel pattern to get used to. It's been a lifelong, essentially, for most of us, of traveling 114 as we have, but there's some big changes, all of which they say will be making it more efficient and safer for travel in the future. Well, we bested expectations or predictions again today. We actually broke the 70-degree mark here in downtown Sayersville. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We are going to see some days that aren't going to be as nice and warm, but they're all pretty much going to be filled with some sunshine. Well, yep. We topped off at exactly 70.2 today. Beautiful. 67 right now. There's going to come a time for too long. We'll be talking about the wind chill temperatures and that type of thing and what it feels like. But right now, 67 feels like 67. Easterly wind about 2 miles per hour. And biggest gust I had today was about 3 miles an hour there. That's a typo. We had about 11 mile per hour gust earlier today. My apologies. Humidity, kind of non-relevant at this point, 36%. We did pick up a half inch of rain yesterday, right, exactly a half inch of rain. Sunrise, 7:47, and sunset ticking away earlier every day, to my displeasure, 6:49. That's getting early, and that time change thing will be here before you know it. That's another thing that, we'll just move on. All right, so what's Mother Nature and the National Weather Service and Your News Today say about the upcoming outlook? We have some patchy fog tonight, followed by some patchy frost. Check it out. The 30s have arrived, and they're sticking around quite solidly through much of your 7-day. 36 tonight, that means patchy frost and calm winds. Fortunately, no wind to blow. That's going to be a cold one. Now, I know some of the folks, I don't think we've given in yet at the house, but I know the heaters and the stoves and the furnaces have been kicked on in a few, understandably so. Tomorrow, 67 is what we're calling for. I'm calling for it to probably hit 69 or 70 again, just like it did today. Night, it's going to be a little slower start because we're starting off at 36 degrees. We start off at 38 today. 36 tomorrow night again. So skies tomorrow, we do have a 30% chance of some showers, like for an hour or two in the morning. But other than that, skies will become sunny. So a little slow start to your Tuesday, mostly cloudy, maybe a slight chance of a few light showers at most, but the sun will slowly make a return. That's what we think anyway, 67. And by latter afternoon, we might hit 70. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Another low of just chilly 36 degrees. Wednesday, we back off to about 60, and with this system, we've got some winds out of the west up to 20 miles per hour, so breezy, albeit sunny and cooler for your Wednesday. 60 for your high, still relatively in the mid-30s for nighttime lows. Guess what? All that means more patchy frost to start off your Thursday again. Areas of patchy frost, sunshine, low 60s, mostly clear that night, lower 30s down to 34 for nighttime lows, which is the lowest evening of your 7-day. Daytime highs are pretty consistent, and as are nighttime lows from here on out, they do perk up about 10 degrees from here on out for the rest of your 7-day. That's not a bad thing. So Friday, some frost in the morning, 63 and 44, your high, your low. Mostly cloudy skies Friday night for your weekend. Right now, Saturday looks to be more cloudy than not and have a 40% just chance of some run-of-the-mill showers, holding on to the low, probably mid-60s, 64, 65. Nighttime lows, though, well out of the frost zone, 47 Saturday night. Latter half of your weekend, mid-60s again, maybe upper as you saw. And then on Monday, I think 70s return, partly sunny, with a pesky 20% chance of showers. That's it. Thank you for watching. The City Council of Sayersville meets tonight. The Fiscal Court of Magoffin County meets tomorrow. Combine that with all the other news that I have been holding on this desk here for now a number of days. I've got a lot to cover. Thank you all for watching for now, and I'll see you tomorrow.